What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Flip Side, a Get Your Teach On podcast where we break down, share, and challenge flip perspectives and insights on different hot topics in education. This is a special edition GYTO Fest 2024 episode. So if you are heading to nationals in just a few days, this episode is for you. And if you're not, we're going to be breaking down some insider secrets, all things you need to know as you head to nationals. So welcome to the Flip Side. We're going to dive in on our special edition, The Road to Nationals. Here we go. The countdown is on to the 2024 Get Your Teach On National Conference. If you were joining us for the first time, welcome to our brand new podcast, The Flip Side. This is a special edition episode. So traditionally, episodes launch every Monday. First one already launched earlier this week, but this is a special edition just for anyone who's headed to nationals.
Yeah.
Little behind the scenes, insider secrets. So Hope, before we dive into all things nationals, talk a little bit about the Flip Side podcast and kind of the behind the scenes of what it looks like.
Yeah, so as you guys know, we are so excited to launch this brand new project. And in case you missed the first episode, Flip Side is all about having challenging conversations. So some of the things that we say might be hard to swallow. Some of the things that we say might have a little stirring in your spirit. It does for us too.
For sure.
That is what this podcast is all about, is having challenging conversations and recognizing that those can happen and you can still have respect for one another, that you don't have to fully jump on board with one person or the other, that it's about saying, hold on a second, do I feel like this is challenging me? And if it's challenging me, then what can I shift? What can I adjust to be a little bit better tomorrow than I am today? So that's kind of what the Flip Side. It's going to be a doozy on some episodes.
Yeah, and we have filmed a lot of this season's episodes already with some special guests, and the conversations are so powerful, so insightful. So every Monday, a new episode will launch. You can also watch live on YouTube. So if you're listening right now on your favorite podcast streaming platform, you can watch it live from the studio on YouTube every single week.
Yeah.
So set your alarms Monday to tap into the Flip Side podcast. But this episode's going to be a little different. We are going to be talking about all things Get Your Teach On National Conference, breaking it down. This is the perfect road trip playlist podcast as you get ready.
As you're listening to this, you're traveling to nationals.
Hopefully you're en route. Maybe you're like on a plane. If you are listening or watching right now and you're on your way to nationals, snap a selfie, tag us. We want to see where you are. What my friend Corey yesterday texted on my way here, and she was like, everyone in our group chat, she was like, everyone send a picture of what they're staring at right now. And it's actually hilarious. So I'm going to incorporate that more into my life.
That's
but
crazy.
show us what you're doing right now if you were listening on your way to nationals. But let's dive into, Wade, I'm going to start with you. Nationals this year is bigger and better than ever. Orlando, Florida. 6,500 teachers and leaders are currently on their way there right now.
Gracious sakes.
And they are hyped and ready to go. And I think a lot of the hype is coming from everyone excited to see Jonas Brothers kicking off the event.
Okay.
So we'll go into the logistics and details. But first, let's start with that, because a lot of the questions we got, and we asked some questions on social media of what about nationals? A lot of questions about Jonas Brothers. So talk about kind of the why behind Jonas Brothers, how they're ending up coming to Orlando. All about celebrating teachers. If you head to our social media,
that's the why.
Exactly. They actually put a note that we just published on our social media channels. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And that kind of also explains the why. But talk a little bit about the importance of that and them coming to celebrate, because we've had several of the brothers before,
right?
But this is gonna be a little different.
Yeah, I think anything that you do. I mean, everyone loves music. Doesn't matter what type of music you like, and I think, as teachers, we use music all the time. We don't realize how we use it in the classroom. And speaking of Jonas Brothers, I mean, they identify with our audience, our community. They love Jonas Brothers. I didn't personally grow up on Jonas Brothers.
What a terrible life
I know.
had.
Gosh.
You were too emo for that, probably.
Yeah, that is true.
I missed
a little too poppy.
I missed that boat, but I've become a huge fan. Have great music, and they're just genuine people, great dads. They support teachers. I know we went to one of their concerts back in October, and they were recognizing teachers right there in the middle of on their tour. And so it was just an easy fit. they wanted to do something that was intimate and special, and that sounds weird, but not just the traditional concert feel. And so it's going to be an amazing time. They've been very easy to work with, and they're super excited about just being there, being with teachers, talking with teachers. And we even asked them, hey, could we do like, can you do a medley of songs together? And they were like, no, we really don't want to do that because we want to talk in between our songs. We want to talk to the teachers. We want to be there. We want to be present.
Look them in the eyes.
Tell me that you love me.
That's what they want to do with teachers.
But I mean, it's going to be exciting. They're going to celebrate teachers, and that's what we try to do. We strive to pour back into the humanity of the educator, the person, but also the profession.
You're not just a teacher. Like
Right.
you're so much more than that, and that's what Get Your Teach On is all about. And you know, obviously we get questioned a lot about a lot of things, but we get questions a lot about the why behind who we bring to Get Your Teach On. It's interesting to me that the questions always come from people who don't come to the conference.
Who have never been to the conference ever.
I heard way back when somebody said, you're hating from outside the club.
Yeah.
But I mean, truly, it's not even about, and that's not Get Your Teach On.
You're what, outside the club? What's that?
You're hating from outside the club.
Like you haven't gotten in, you haven't made it past the stanchions in the VIP
or you're
list.
the cheap seats or
Right,
whatever you want to use as the. But I mean, again, Get Your Teach On's not for everybody, and that is fully okay.
For sure.
Who Get Your Teach On is for people who want to celebrate themselves and learn as a teacher, but also want to let loose and have fun as a human being and make authentic connections and find your people and find your friends and find commonalities and find your authentic side if you've lost that in education. And you can't just find your authentic side if you're only talking about education.
Yeah.
Your authentic side comes from your passions, your interests, your hobbies, your talents, your strengths, your weaknesses. And so that's why we explore all areas. And these teachers work stinking hard all day, which I know we're going to talk about the content,
Amen.
but we
Yeah.
hit them heavy with the content. So we're work hard, play hard mentality. When you come to Get Your Teach On, we are going to give you all of the strategies, all of the content, but also an overwhelming amount is also a bad thing because then you're so overwhelmed you don't even know where to begin. So that's why we also have that time to...
It's like a brain break. It's like a giant brain break.
That time to decompress, to process, to just sit back, enjoy, have fun. And so we strategically pick people to build the whole experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to
start
pour into
all
teachers.
the way to the end. Yeah.
And I think it's more to really think about when you're coming to Get Your Teach On, if you've never been before, you probably are like, I don't even know what to expect yet. And if you're a veteran, you can probably attest to this. It is not just, obviously the foundation is professional development. You're going to leave with tons of strategies that you can immediately implement to next school year with your students to see immediate results. And that's the foundation of Get Your Teach On. But it's an experience, right? It's an experience with you and like-minded educators where we can celebrate each other, where we can kind of have this celebration of education.
Well, here's what we say about classrooms. You can have fun. You can have, we were actually filming a podcast that's coming up in a couple of weeks. And we were having a conversation about, it was actually a parent, and they were talking about their son and how he was, I don't even think this was on the podcast. I think this was
an after the filming
conversation. Yeah. But they were talking about how he was looking so forward to St. Patrick's Day week. Like he was like, I know it's going to be so fun. My teacher's going to do something magical and it's going to be so fun.
Elementary school.
Fifth grade. And he showed up that week and the teacher did nothing fun and nothing exciting and nothing out of the ordinary. And here's the thing. A lot of people think that with student engagement that you have to sacrifice all of the rigor, all of the content to have the fun. Absolutely not. The more fun that you have, the higher the rigor can be because then people actually want to be there. And so Get Your Teach On, that's what we also want to model is that you can have the rigor of those breakout sessions. You can have the content, but you can also have the fun that makes people want to have that experience and show up. So it's basically like when people tell you, oh, that was a cute lesson. And they're insinuating it was cute and fun, but it wasn't meaningful. And I'm like, absolutely not.
Do you know what we just did here?
It's going to be meaningful and it's going to be research driven and research based and all of those things. But part of meaningful is that you actually want to be there. So to want to be there, you have to tap into the human side of individuals. So what we model in classrooms and what we have found incredible success with is exactly how we built this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the national conference especially is that kind of 50% educator and 50% human that we talk about a lot.
I'm like a broken record saying that.
Exactly. That's going to be like on your tombstone. It's literally just
Please put it on my tombstone. That's my mission in life.
It's going to be a Hope King quote forever. But of really this kind of experience that you're about to embark on for the next 4 days, 5 days, however long you're in Orlando, is transformational in more than just your classroom-based practices and things like that. So talk about kind of what you hope teachers will walk away from nationals. Before we dive into the details and some of the questions from social media, what do you hope teachers coming to Get Your Teach On, or maybe if they're thinking about coming to Get Your Teach in the future, what do you hope they leave the week feeling or knowing?
Let's get the mindset right.
Yeah,
all right,
let's set the mindset.
Let's get the mindset right. So honestly, again, everything at there is nothing that's by accident at Get Your Teach On. Everything is critically
Absolutely
intentional.
It is hard.
And it's hard.
It's
And
really
we get a
hard.
lot of no's for the things that we are so passionate about, and we make them yeses because we know what they do for teachers. So what I hope they walk away with, number one, is community. And that is why I want them to walk away with friends outside of their classroom, outside of their school building. That's one of the biggest things I've heard about Get Your Teach On is I make my lifelong friends, which tells me we're on the right track because that shows that we're centering the humanity and giving people, number one, we are created to exist in community.
And I think important to know, sorry to cut you off, but a lot of teachers come by themselves.
Yes.
So
if you're coming by yourself, do not be nervous.
And that's
okay.
okay.
It's okay to be nervous.
Yeah.
But because that means you're doing something that's challenging you. But I promise you're going to walk away.
Yeah, and some people come full teams. We have full schools, full districts coming that they've literally bought out like 100 room blocks for their teachers in their district of what that looks like. So whether you're a party of one or a party of 100, you're going to walk away with a full kind of experience. Okay, dive in. So community, really connecting with educators there and being with like-minded educators. I think an important part of that community, number one, in that keynote room, every single attendee is hearing the same message, the same kind of fire up motivation as everyone around them. Leaders, teachers from pre-K all the way through middle school. Everyone's kind of starting the day and ending the day together in that community, but also unique to Get Your Teach On, which is something that we really strive to create. And people have said, well, why do you do it this way? Is that in your breakout sessions, you've registered for a track, you remain in that same room with those same people for the entirety of the conference. And our content team has kind of curated this experience of 12 high-level, rigorous content sessions. Streamlined, aligned, that are going to create this full circle moment by the end that everything is connected. Our presenters work together to make sure they're aligned, same messaging, and based on the needs and kind of pain points of teachers in education. So talk about kind of, and Wade, you can chime in on this too, talk about in those grade level rooms, you're in community there as well. Why is the intention of us choosing the sessions for teachers? Because people say, do I need to choose sessions? Where do I need to go? Why is that kind of format the way that's worked for Get Your Teach On? Why do you think it's so successful?
Yeah. I mean, I think that, I've been to other conferences and I basically took everything that wasn't serving me in another conference and I created it at Get Your Teach On because I knew that there were other people like me. And so we do get a lot of questions about, well, why can't we choose sessions and why can't we rotate? I have been to conferences like that. And I leave
every conference is like that.
There's really no conference like ours. And
that's
leave
fine for those people.
Correct.
Yeah. If you want choice, then you
go
your
and
you choose.
Life, we are not saying anything negative about any other model of a conference. We're just doing what works for us and what we have seen be, productive and successful. And so for us, I've been to other conferences where I walk around and if you're choosing sessions, you're just a stranger in the room. Like you don't get to know anybody. You don't know. You've learned some things, but I think I left a lot of educational conferences feeling super lonely. Yeah. Because I was like, there's nobody in my building who's going to do these types of things. There's nobody, and I didn't meet anybody at the So it's about being in community. It's about being able to have those conversations with like-minded individuals, teaching the same grade, having the same focus, having the desire for the same outcomes. It's kind of one of those, if you know, you know. Yeah. If you've been there and you know, you see the benefit. And some people have not preferred that, and Get Your Teach On is not for them. Totally but fine. For the people that this model works for, it works. And it gives you your community, and it gives you people that you can call on the phone, and it gives you people that you can, like we have friend groups that Zoom every single week. They have FaceTimes. They're collaborating across the nation, and there needs to be more of that in education.
Yeah, I mean, humans are wired for community, and I'm glad you spoke on that. But then, since day one with this conference, we've scheduled and aligned our content with what we have seen currently in education that's either working or it's missing. And we've curated that for every single grade level breakout room for it to be consistent. And so it's really a controlled but a fun controlled environment to where we know exactly what these teachers are going to take away instead of them maybe missing something that's very important, because this is curated as the best that we can. I mean, I know
We don't just pull stuff from the sky.
No,
like we're not just
that's
this is
what I
a
was gonna
trend in
say.
education.
Absolutely
Let's talk
not.
about
Yeah,
like
so
that.
That's what I was gonna say. Like
Yeah.
even with us three, there were sessions even with us three that we wanted to do, but it just didn't align with what the focus is for this conference, for this particular grade level or this breakout, and that's okay. And we've had some of our presenters, same thing this year. They're returning. Some of them they wanted to present and it just didn't work, you know. But maybe it will next time. But that's why we have the other one later on in Charlotte.
Well, and I do think that it's important to mention this too about like where the content comes from, because
Yes,
we're
it
talking
is.
so much about the content, but where do we curate this? Do we just decide? Do we just look at curriculums?
to
Do
break
we
down
just
break down the process from
Yeah.
like conception to where it is now of like getting ready of content
Yeah.
and sessions.
Well, we have a tremendous amount, obviously, of presenters who are still actively every single day in the classroom,
Yes.
right? So we have that angle. Then we have our Magic Squad, built up of 200 educators, where we're constantly having meetings with them throughout the year, saying, what is it that you want to see? What is it that you're having mandates for, or that you're being asked to do, but you're being given no support in whatsoever? So we're looking for patterns. We're looking for trends. Then the unique thing about what we get to do is we're not confined to one classroom.
Yeah.
And I think this is what makes Get Your Teach On so powerful, is we're not confined to one space where I only know what works for my kids in my one classroom.
In
my community.
Atlanta, Georgia.
In one specific area with one specific type
Right.
of, we get to travel this nation. We get to, I mean, our team has done now probably close to 400, I would say, over the past 2 years.
Yeah,
Classroom
over. I would say
observations.
over.
Our
I think last year
content
was
team.
200 plus. So.
Yeah.
Classroom observations, and
Yeah.
then mix in with that classroom coaching.
Co-teaching, coaching, teaching in the classroom,
Modeling.
you know, working in these buildings, not just going and providing professional development, working with these leaders. What are your initiatives? What are your goals? What are your pain points? What are your mountains that you haven't been able to climb over yet? Where, like,
Working with different board members from different states and unions
and state levels,
state
and
le-
understanding the legislation that goes into building laws and rules and education. Like, literally, I have learned more these past 2 years, because here's the thing. Teachers, and this is a very unfortunate thing, and it's one thing that we're trying to change. Teachers, once you get in your classroom, you never get to leave
It's
that classroom.
hard.
Right, so.
It's very hard.
And so it's hard to really know other than what's working for your kids. But what's working for your kids might not work for all kids.
Right.
And so we have been able to, through those observations, through leadership and working, and we've also been mentored by some phenomenal leaders
That's what I
in
was gonna say,
education.
and
Like-
including the leadership cohort that we have.
Yes, we have leadership cohorts that we meet with, like people schooling us and teaching us, and us constantly learning too. From that, we find patterns. From that, we find where are the gaps, where are the holes. It's something that a lot of people in education aren't doing. Taking the time to truly listen, not just let people shout things, but listen to pain points, listen to problems, develop solutions, test them out in schools. Everything that we're bringing to the stage of Get Your Teach On, we have fully tested in schools and seen massive results.
And I think if we think about Get Your Teach On, so we now just celebrated our 8th birthday this past spring. From where Get Your Teach On started, if someone was at that first conference, it looks in Orlando.
So
So we're back in
different.
Orlando. It is full circle. It looks very different
Yes.
than it looks now. And I think that's because once we were able to break outside of the four walls of just our individual classrooms, we were able to make systematic change of what this looks big picture for schools or districts, and that alignment from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. What does it look like for the leaders to kind of be on the same page of setting this intention for what instruction looks like for teachers?
To where
And I
there's
think
a
that's
framework, a
when-
support system.
Correct. And I think that's when, especially from attendee feedback, and we have surveys after every single conference, that's when people are like, oh my gosh, I can take this and run with it. It wasn't just what I call activity batching, which I've done many times in my classroom, where when you're planning something, you're just kind of, okay, I need to do this first, then at 10 o'clock I'm going to do this, then 11 o'clock I'm going to do this. It's more kind of what are best practices for any kid, any classroom, any content area that's going to take you to the next level, and what are those pain points you're trying to solve. So based on kind of all those things combined, we sat our presenters down. I think it was almost probably 10 months ago at this point. It was almost a full year.
Yeah, it really was.
And
Holy
we
cow.
launched our content for our presenters of, okay, these are some of the highest pain points that we're seeing in education, combined with what they're seeing in education as the pain points that educators need support in X, Y, Z area right now.
Yeah.
And they kind of developed their pitch or session for, this is how I would solve that pain point, backed on the research, backed on the strategy, the application. What is this going to look like? Also very unique to Get Your Teach On is every session, the teachers become the students, which I remember attending many PD and conferences and at school and things like that, where I'm on my phone or I'm on my computer because I'm not actively involved in it. But best practice and research shows that if you're focused, if you're motivated, if you're actually in it, you're going to retain it and actually apply that information. That goes for kids or adults. So every session you are going to be doing what the kids will be doing for the most you can do in that session. I mean, we are limited on time, obviously, so not everything is going to kind of come to life.
And we can't give 25 minutes for every activity.
Correct. There's no way.
Some teachers get so mad when they're like, we only have 5 minutes for this. And I'm like, guys, we can't spend a whole session just playing a game.
We want you to have 12 complete sessions. So you're going to get ideas, you're going to get strategy, and you're also going to get that hands-on component for the kind of high points of that from each presenter.
Yeah.
But it's going to be that you're going to walk away and be able to do this immediately. Something we talk about with our schools a lot is if we just deliver the content and we don't actually model what it looks like.
If there's
model
no action behind the learning.
Correct. That it's never going to you're never going to do it, number one, probably, because it's going to take a bigger step to kind of dive in. So we want teachers to leave feeling experienced in these strategies, diving in, working with it, so they can go back and kind of really take their instruction to the next level.
And this may also help your mindset too. Some workshops and some of the breakout sessions are going to be more idea batching. So I want to make sure we're not saying anything negative because that is not the intention. Joanne Miller, who everybody adores and loves. She becomes the queen of Get Your Teach On because everybody loves her sessions. She is an idea girly, and man, does she have freaking good
in 70
ones.
minutes, she's gonna jam pack you with a million.
Give it to me.
One of her superpowers.
Yes, that's one of her superpowers.
All of our presenters have superpowers. That's just one of hers.
She just came to mind with that. But then, so I think it's so important to also be able to see these sessions for what they're intended to do. Are they just giving me ideas? Okay, then I'm going to take these ideas. It definitely doesn't mean I have to do all of them. But now I've got like a jam-packed list of ideas that I can pull from. That's a resource for me.
And you know the why behind it, which is very important of what is this going to do for my students and their learning.
Because man, so many times I have caught myself doing things just because with no results. Don't do things unless you want results and be able to find those results, see those results, track those results, right?
I mean, but our attendees will have that foundation from the whole conference, from just other sessions.
Some of the sessions are not idea batching sessions. They're processes and systems.
Yeah.
Right.
They are a start to finish. We're not just going to do this one lesson one time or a couple lessons throughout the year. This is going to be, I'm going to start the year implementing this, and then my goal is to maintain it through the end of the year. But with those, you have to, number one, recognize you can't implement 12 systems. So you're going to have to choose what is my pain point, what does my focus need to be, and that's where I'm going to invest my biggest energy. That's where I'm going to put all my time. So it might be you take back one of those systems, right? But I think the key point is start with something that you can start in August with something that you can maintain all the way till June.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't start with all the things in August and then burn out of everything by December and nothing happens. Of course you're going to see no results, right? And so we do a lot of surveys, and I want to point this out. We do a lot of surveys, and the questions that we send out, again,
big data guy.
Big data people. We send out very intentionally crafted questions, again, because we want specific information for how we can modify and adjust our conference for you. So it's, are you using the strategies that you took back from Get Your Teach On? How effective have they been? If you're not using them, please tell us why so that we can adjust and give you what you need and shift. And some of the answers, we've seen a lot of different things, and the majority of people, of course, are going back and finding great success, but a lot of people say it's just too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that probably what their problem is they think they need to go back and implement everything.
Right.
And of course it's going to be too hard, right? So I think in these sessions, you really need to sit with, okay, is this an idea session? I'm going to get my list of resources that I can pull from. Is this a systems and processes? I'm going to learn these systems. I'm going to think about my pain point, which one I need to use to address it. And then when that goes well, I can maybe try a new system out, right?
Because here's the thing. These sessions will challenge you as an educator,
100%.
and that is the point. Even the keynotes. The point is to kind of make you think a little bit, and that's also the point of this podcast a little bit too, as we continue with this season, is how do we take what we're doing? You're already doing incredible things. Teachers are doing incredible things already. How can we challenge the mindset a little bit to just take it to the next level to really see that impact to accelerate student learning? And that's the goal. The goal is to challenge, maybe make you a little uncomfortable, maybe make you think about, wow, how would this actually fit with my students? Maybe I'm not doing this. Should I be doing this? And kind of have that internal dialogue with yourself throughout the session.
My new thing that I've been telling teachers, so if you're in my sessions, you're going to hear it again there, is let's be besties. But if I'm going to be your bestie, I don't want a bestie that always agrees with me. Because if you have a bestie that always agrees with you, you're never growing, you're never evolving, you're never changing. So that's kind of what we are doing at this conference is we're going to be your besties. we might say some things. Our speakers the keynotes might say some things that make you feel uncomfortable, make you feel a little, or even make you feel like you were attacked. And that's never our intention, but you can't deliver a message without some people feeling attacked.
But also, I know, and I'm speaking from personal experience, if I ever feel that way where I'm like, oh my, what is happening? I need to kind of check myself and be like, oh,
and
maybe I need to hear it even more.
That's what I was going
to
say.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never our intention whatsoever, because like you said, we want to celebrate you more than anything. But it takes having that feeling to be like, oh shoot, okay, maybe I do need to hear it. Maybe I do need to listen to this. Maybe this is the thing that you think you don't need is the thing that you need the most.
Yeah.
More times than not. So just have an open mind. Know that the intention is never to make you feel bad, less than, guilty, like you're not doing enough. It's the opposite. We want you to leave there empowered, knowing that you are doing incredible things, but how you can find more effective results, because more effective results leads to higher teacher morale.
Yeah.
And we all know that teacher morale is struggling in this nation. And so again, that's how we craft things that get results, because when teachers start getting results, they're going to be more excited to do those things. So we want you to have results, but to do that, you're going to have to make some changes, and making changes can be challenging.
All right, so our presenters created their sessions. They are ready. Now, from that point, and we're still back literally November of 2023 of this process, then our presenters kind of meet together for the alignment component of what does this look like start to finish for those sessions. So you are going to see common trends throughout, intentionally planned throughout sessions within your track. And if you're wondering, okay, well, what sessions are in my grade level room? You can download your conference guide on the website, getyourteachon.com/Orlando. Also, if you haven't already and you're on your way to Nationals right now, make sure you download the conference app, because in that app, it is going to give you your full lineup of every session, the presenter, the order that's there, the keynotes, the times, everything is going to be in that app. That's going to be your one-stop shop for everything. So if you haven't done that already, make sure you download that app, because that'll give you kind of the intentionality of those sessions. And like we said, those are 12 intentionally crafted sessions that you're going to see have been picked just for your grade level, just for your kind of content area there. From there, our presenters work with our team in South Carolina to have materials, all the things. Our South Carolina team has been literally
if you see the South Carolina team, I feel like we need a badge, like a star badge that says South Carolina
maybe
team.
Just like giant like lights that follow them around with like spotlights.
And I think that when you see them, you just need to go hug them, love on them, thank them. Because we would never be able to have the hands-on component.
Never. So just so you know, if you're on your way right now, every single material, swag, handout, table, decor, everything you see has been hand-packed.
There is no production company that does.
There is nothing.
We are the production company.
Correct.
Our team is our team touches every single thing that you touch. So just know, and this is a conference for 6,500 people. So the amount of tables, the amount of activities, the amount of per person interaction, just know that so many people have worked so incredibly hard for an entire year to craft this experience for you.
Now, also, you're going to walk away with some incredible swag. I don't want to give away too much of what that looks like, but look forward to that.
Oh, man.
Swag, handouts.
Maybe we have released it on social media at this point.
Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
If not, it's going to be a surprise.
If not, exactly, yeah. But if you've seen the swag, if not, you have something to look forward to, but also stay tuned to social media for that, depending on where this airs and when you're listening to it and how you're listening to it and all the things. You may or not seen already, but you're going to walk away with swag. You're going to walk away with all the handouts, digital resources. Now, the materials that you use in this session, I'm putting this disclaimer here too, and you'll hear me say it throughout the conference.
Yes, please.
Like we said, they were hand-packed for you. They are traveling with us to other conferences. So if your leader, your MC, your Magic Squad in your room, we'll talk about Magic Squad in a second, if they say this stays here, please have some integrity as a teacher and leave that material there.
Y'all are probably like, why do they have to say this, guys?
Yeah, as a teacher, if you have to say something, it's because someone's done it before. That is now like, now I'm adding that to my rules and procedures for next year.
And not everybody's listening to this who's coming to the conference.
Correct.
So if you see someone who's taking something,
hold them accountable.
Say something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the airport message that I've heard way too many times.
But all those materials you're going to use throughout the session, so it's going to really kind of bring it to life. It is not a sit and get. It is, if you're expecting to come and just sit and not be hands-on, you may want to find out.
I have a feeling.
It's too late.
I have a feeling if you're listening to this podcast that you are not going to be the sit and those people definitely are like, definitely not listening to that podcast.
Exactly. So we talked about the content. Now let's talk about our Magic Squad. Before we dive into some tips and behind the scenes, our Magic Squad, we have almost 200 volunteers. We have a Magic Squad leadership team that has been working since the end of April to craft every second of this conference and serve teachers in the best way that they can. Talk about kind of, and Wade, you were there in the OG of Magic Squad when we first started.
I was literally just thinking about that.
You were the Magic Squad.
You were the hype up for
Wait,
the OG
let's
of
just
the Magic Squad.
Yeah.
Wade was the OG Magic Squad because the very first conference, he thought he was going to go to Universal Studios.
No, actually,
wait. We're coming to you.
On the flip side here, Wade did go to Universal
He
Studios.
did. That's right.
I
He
was
did.
the OG Magic Squad.
Okay,
Wade
well,
actually was there, and then he
I gotta
came
clear
back.
this up. I gotta clear
But
this up.
Prep Squad.
I gotta clear
Wade
this
was
up.
Prep Squad for sure.
Okay. So Wade did go to Universal. He got there for 5 minutes, and
Correct.
as soon as he got his ticket, he had to come back and
Correct.
start prepping materials.
It was almost too late.
He
at
was
that
the
point,
he was
though.
the OG SC team.
Prepper.
Him and
yeah,
my mom.
Correct.
But then you came as an attendee.
Yeah, just as
for-
a supportive friend.
We were
Just
at the,
as a
we were-
supportive
We were
friend.
at the conference. Your phone had broke, and we were at a mall in
that's not-
Orlando.
oh, that's right.
And
That's
so I
not
had to go
surprising,
and
though.
run and get a new phone for you in the
That's
mall.
right.
And
I forgot.
Pam needed somebody, and I wasn't there. So who does she pull out of the audience?
Chris
Yes.
Pombano.
Christopher
I was
Pombano.
just there being a
became-
supportive friend.
You need a
cheering
shirt
on,
that
cheering
says
on from the
First
sidelines.
Magic Squad.
And then
You
I
and
show
Pamela.
The only.
I show back up to the conference. And I'm like, who is this? This is amazing. Oh, hey, Chris, nice to see you for the third time, I think.
Literally, yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Probably. Yeah, I knew Wade.
Let's
Hope,
kill
but
this.
I really didn't know Wade too well, just from Hope's husband. That's how
Yeah.
I knew Wade at that point.
That's
But
how everybody knew me.
That was the OG, but also this is digressing completely from nationals and
Correct,
behind the
but
scenes.
it's okay.
Funny story there. We had to fill up water balloons for that conference for an
Y'all
activity
did
that was
do that.
doing.
You
The,
did
bu-
do
the
that.
In the
balloon,
ho-
the famous balloon
Correct,
activity.
which if you know, you know. But the sinks in that hotel were the automatic
Oh,
sinks
yeah,
that
they
didn't
were.
have
I
like
remember
a
this,
faucet,
too.
so you have to like wave your hand and it only goes for like 10 seconds, maybe. Like if you've been in an airport or anything, you know how that works. So
Terrible.
that was the hotel. It was
Fortunately, we only had 90 people in
Our
the room,
fingers-
so
we
were
we
covered in
good.
water.
We were good.
Our fingers were hurting. I don't even
yeah,
think I did
it
as
was
many
painful.
as you.
It was painful. So that
now,
was
now we need 750 water balloons
Exactly,
instead of
so-
70.
Okay, so back to Magic Squad.
yes. There we go.
So that was
Now
a
that
very,
we cleared up who's the OG Magic Squad.
that was the very first conference, obviously, and then we started presenting, and there really was no Magic Squad. It was the presenters who were the Magic Squad at the time,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
then our first
And we wouldn't even get into venues early. It would be the morning of
Yeah,
at
like
5
3
a.m.
like 3
Yeah.
a.m.
3:30
yeah.
a.m. and we'd be setting up all the things and the totes and the AV. But our first, I think, our really big first experience of having a big Magic Squad or more than 5 people was our San Diego conference.
Yeah, first national conference.
And I was basically in charge of all of those people there, and I was running.
It was the black baseball shirts with the splatter
Yeah.
paint.
Yes, it was.
with the splatter paint. That looks
I
like
was
you're going to a
I would
rave.
run like down the corner to find the 18-wheeler truck that missed a thing, and they would come, and I just loved them so much. I fell in love with them, and then I was like, I can't keep doing this forever. I'm going to die. And so it just kind of grew from that, and then we started getting some systems and those
Does
type
anybody
of things.
remember when we came, like when we named them the Magic Squad? It was that San Diego conference
the
because they
San
had
Diego
it
It was
on their
before.
shirt.
It was before that for sure.
I think that's just what we kept saying is y'all make magic, y'all
I
make
don't-
magic,
yeah.
y'all make magic, y'all make
I'm
Mel
sure
are
we have it in a
magic
group
makers,
text
magic
somewhere
makers.
when we created
I'm
that.
sure, and then
yeah, there
finally
we
it
go.
evolved
I mean,
to
I
the Magic
remember
Squad.
so specifically that conference. Josie Pensko.
That's
Yeah.
when I
and
met
OG
Josie.
Magic Squad there.
I was going to say the same
yes,
thing. That's when
and
I met
that was
Josie.
when we met for the first time, and I still remember that picture of her in that shirt.
Bro, she
and
was-
I was in like a Double Dare outfit, and she was like in the OG crew, and also.
But she was
foreshadowing.
killing it. She was killing it.
She was running around everywhere. She will be on this podcast. We actually filmed 2 episodes with her. So foreshadowing, Josie joins us live in the studio for 2 episodes here. But since then, it has grown significantly over the years, and they're really the backbone and heart of the conference.
Yes.
They have been meeting. We have a Magic Squad 2.0 this year where everything is kind of streamlined, and they are so excited in their areas. We have our leadership team that is taking it to the next level, and it is going to be amazing. So if you see our Magic Squad, you'll obviously become close to the Magic Squad in your grade level rooms because they will stay with you. But just love on some Magic
they're
Squad when
incredible.
you're
South Carolina team is like the body and the organs.
Yes.
The Magic Squad is like the heartbeat
Yeah,
that
there
makes
we go.
everything
they're-
that South Carolina has prepared makes
we
it
can
they're
probably do like a
incredible.
cell diagram for
Yeah,
this
we
of
should,
like,
we
yeah, the
should.
nucleus.
One thing I want to say, guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
excuse
go
us.
ahead.
They
Sorry.
are incredible educators, and
Oh,
this
yeah.
is something that I think a lot of people they know, but they don't recognize in the moment, especially the attendees and presenters. Like those Magic Squad, they are incredible educators. They're leaders of their schools. Like they are in it, and
Yes.
they are great to
Teachers
go to
of
for
the
advice.
year, like yes.
they
They are
are
next level.
They're awesome.
I've literally
tap in
cried
with
like
them,
3
too.
times on just our Magic Squad meetings just because of their passion for serving teachers and just giving back
When
in the
do you
and they
not
cannot
cry?
wait. Like they,
I mean, I've
do you not
presented
cry
with.
though?
I've been
we've
very
presented
emotional.
with
Yeah, you're
some
right.
of
It's the
them.
hormones.
You're right. It's the hormones. Yeah, exactly. All right. So we talked about the content. We talked about some of the keynotes. Give them a little preview of, we talked about Jonas Brothers specifically, but give them a preview of kind of what keynotes to really look forward to as you kind of go through the breakdown of the week.
So that first night, Clint Pulver, who is incredible, he's going to be pouring back into everybody. He uses his talent as a drummer, but he's used that to serve people. He's a great speaker,
focusing on
motivator.
leadership specifically, which is what all teachers are.
All teachers are leaders, and he definitely does that. And then Jonas Brothers will round the night out there. And then the next morning, Ed Milet, who is top 5, I think, motivational speakers in the world.
If you're listening to this podcast right now,
gosh.
you probably have listened to his podcast.
If you've listened to Ed Milet, he is incredible.
If not, add it to your playlist.
Yeah, we'll probably be like right
the road
under
to
him after this, you think? He's like number 1 podcast. We'll probably be number 2 after this, you think? I don't know. That's
totally.
But we met.
We're manifesting.
Yeah, exactly.
We met with him and we told him just the theme of the conference, and he's crafting a specific message for that day to kind of kick off the whole entire conference of breakthrough. And after that morning is
then we've got
then you and I will do something to kind of set the tone for the conference and the theme of the conference.
You'll hear a little bit from us, and then that evening for after your content sessions, Monday night we'll have Justin Willman.
He's coming back.
Along with
comedian
Lily
magician. Lily Singh.
We're super excited for her. And then on Tuesday morning, it is the one, the only LeVar
Butterflies
Burton.
in the sky.
Titus will also be back to join us for Gold Star. Then that night we have Jordan Fisher and Angie K.
Let's
Chris,
go.
calm down. It's all right.
Happily
Fireworks
ever
inside.
after. If you go to Disney World and you go to Magic Kingdom one night and you see the fireworks, that Angie K and Jordan Fisher, they're the ones who sing.
Yeah, they're the ones who
and they'll
sing
be
that.
there for that.
He was also on Dear Evan Hansen, which I just
so good.
love that musical and that movie.
And
so
then
good.
the biggest clown I know, Eddie B.
Oh my
Our friend
gosh.
Eddie B.
Yeah.
He is like, he puts on his calendar like for the next 20 years.
And
like,
if you are easily offended by a comedy, just don't come because
Right.
but it is meant to be.
It
Yes,
is so-
it
it is so
contradicts what we talk about at the conference because
That's the
it
point.
is comedy. It would
Yes.
not be funny if it did not contradict. So no, it's going to be funny, and just don't come.
Yeah,
with,
don't be
like,
too serious.
Don't wear your feelings on your
Yeah.
sleeves. You're going to be all right.
Exactly. And then
Don't
Wednesday
be so
morning, the
serious.
one, the only, Steve Spangler, and he filmed a video for us, and he's like, I'm gonna blow things up.
Oh, I
That's
haven't seen
literally
this.
what he
Oh,
said.
gosh,
it is
that's
so
amazing.
good.
That's
So you never know what Steve has
Uncle
planned there.
Steve.
And then Wednesday afternoon, after your content sessions, you're not gonna want to miss our GYTO after party. We're gonna be closing out the session all together there in community.
Talking about Rock Your School.
Talk about Rock Your School
We're gonna be
now
talking-
or
no, we're
there?
gonna be
Okay,
talking
I
about
was like,
Rock Your
wait,
School.
that is
There.
not where this podcast is going, but we're talking all things Rock Your School. Also have some winners announced there, and you never know what surprises might be in store for that closing.
So last but not least, well, I'm sure there's a lot of things. Well, a couple of things. Number one, if you've been before, there is all brand new decor in the grade level room.
yes.
So
Oh,
get
okay.
excited about that.
I forgot Mario Lopez will be there too.
Oh yeah, we forgot.
guy.
He's just
Yeah,
he's
the
part of
Magic
team.
Squad now.
Yeah.
He's literally the
We're gonna
Magic
get him a
Squad.
Magic Squad shirt
He's
now.
literally Magic Squad.
But get excited for the decorations because you guys know we love to theme it out because, again, this is about creating an experience, something that you might not remember the content immediately, but you remember where you were, what it looked like, and that triggers the information that you needed to find. So, again, intentional. It's how we created our classrooms, too. But the GYTO Collective.
Let's go.
Guys, it is so good.
Pack some extra room in your
Full
suitcase. If you're ready
teacher
on the way,
shopping
you
experience.
might need to buy a
I
suitcase.
just got a picture of the well, I'm in the warehouse, so that's where the studio is. So I've also seen it. But we have the cutest
Oh, it's
pencil
so good.
tumbler. Like, I know we don't need one more tumbler. You
We
need
should
a
have had it
pencil
on the table
tumbler.
right now.
The
Man.
lanyards are so good. The keychains, the wristlets.
It's
Like
next level.
it's the accessories for me this year. I love them. We've got teacher fanny packs again. We've got back. The t-shirts are so good. There is boutique items to style all the pattern pants, all of the things that teachers love to style with your shirts.
Yeah.
But the collective sells out so fast.
Yes. So if you want to shop the collective, it will be open during registration on Sunday.
And don't wait to
from-
buy something. I'm just being honest with
Yes.
you. It will be gone.
From 12 to 5.
be
So that is
gone.
a
I was gonna say,
big
it closes
window
at
for you to
5.
shop.
Yep.
You don't need to be there right at 12, but it'll be open from 12 to 5 with registration. It is a flow. So you can come whenever. Shop the collective that day. The library will also be open. They are
Chris's
right in
mom
our
will be
impact
working
hub.
in there, so
Find
ask
my
for
mom,
Margie.
give her a hug. Ask for Miss Margaret, as the girls call her, which is also what her preschool
Or as
students
Maverick
call
calls
her.
her, Margie.
Yeah, exactly. So shop the collective 12 to 5. Also, if you're a VIP, you're going to be able to shop the collective early on Saturday night
Yes.
before your VIP party. So check your email for information on that. If you bought one of our VIP tickets, for more information on that. You'll be able to shop early there.
Yeah, and along with VIP too, we also, if you wanted to, some people are like, can I bring, my husband is coming with me to the conference, or my wife, or what, and I want them to come to the opening night. There are opening night tickets. Now, if you have a ticket.
Just for that opening night.
You have a ticket for the opening night.
Correct.
But
obviously, it's included in your conference if you have that.
Those. There's lots
but
of
if someone
options,
just wants to come for the opening and not necessarily the rest of the conference, if they're maybe not a teacher and they just want to rock out to some Joe Bros,
and see Clint because he's worth everybody seeing. Like,
so they
everybody
can come
should see
to
Clint.
that. Now, what are your kind of must first of all, you talked about the backdrops already, so I'm still thinking about that. My challenge to everyone listening, let's see who can take the most pictures with backdrops, if you can find them all. That's my challenge to you.
If you can
Tag
find
us.
them all.
If you can find them all.
We should make a map of backdrops and see who can complete the
We should have a
photo
challenge that if you have all of them.
Oh, we just had an idea.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see if we can make this idea happen in 2 days.
In 24 hours.
How many backdrops do we have? 20?
Close to, I'd say 30
and then there's like
plus,
probably 10
and then the
like
grade
photo
level
moments.
ones. I mean, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Yeah, your camera roll going to be full, so you might want to clear it out.
How do you do that?
If you
say that one time,
that.
this camera's going to be what?
Full.
That's a little hard.
But yeah, I don't think it was intentional
No,
already. I think it was just a combination of us all being off key. But I want to give everyone, I'm going to let each of us say your like one thing that you want to make sure teachers, outside of the content sessions that obviously they'll be in, outside of the keynotes, what is one thing that you want teachers to make sure that they stop by and either see or do at the conference before we kind of wrap up and give them some final advice on their way? I have two, so I'll start off, okay?
Oh, because you want to get yours out of the way and get some.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to steal mine, so I'll go first.
Yeah,
okay,
totally.
my first one is, if you watched the live, we did a kickoff live where we gave away $20,000 worth of prizes a few weeks ago. But the majority of keynotes have some sort of like Netflix special or something you could watch.
Oh.
So that would be like the most fun pregame before the conference, whether it's like in your hotel room with like your teacher besties or like on the way there or on the plane. You can watch like the Jonas Brothers roast on Netflix.
Or they have their Happiness Begins.
They have their Happiness Begins doc that you can watch. You can watch LeVar Burton's
Butterflies in the Sky. That's on Netflix.
That's amazing. That's on Netflix. You can watch Lily sing in Roast and all her shows.
And she was in the recent Muppet movies on Disney.
You can watch the Muppet movie. Who else do we have? There's more. Oh, Justin Willman. Justin Willman.
Oh yeah, he had the top 10 special.
That would be so fun
Netflix.
to plan like a
or you can do all the Christmas
of the
movies for Mario.
Yeah, all lifetime Christmas movies.
You're gonna need weeks for
Saved
that.
by the Bell.
Lifetime movies as
Just
he's
watch
been in.
one classic Saved by the Bell like episode. It used to be on Delta.
For Jordan Fisher, you can watch him just sing.
Yeah, you can watch his YouTube videos. You can go to Disney and rock out to the fireworks, or watch him in Dear Evan Hansen on YouTube. All the things. Hadestown, all those things. So that's my first tip is.
Oh yeah, he's on Hadestown with Lola.
So good. I want to go.
Who's from the summer I turned
She's not
pretty.
here anymore, but yes,
she was.
I wanted
to work with her.
Yeah, he did.
Gosh.
Yeah, we got to ask him about her because I love her.
I mean, yeah, but I think that's so important because
connect into the people that are there.
Yeah,
so
you'll be educated on
it'll
who's
make
there.
it 10 times better if you just kind of. I mean, also, or be surprised. It'll.
If you go to Paris and you have no idea what's there and you're looking at random things, you're not going to have the appreciation that you would have if you knew what you were staring at.
Exactly. And there is an element of surprise too. So if you want to know nothing, you just want to like take it all in and then do it after, you could do that too. But I think it'll make your experience 10 times better if you just know a little bit about these people who are intentionally here to celebrate teachers and give back to you. So that's my first tip. The second one is we have activation stations that will be throughout the City Hall lobby. So it's on your ballroom level, right in the middle. All our activation stations will be there. One of them.
Doggone you. That was going to be I knew you were going to take it.
Yeah. Sorry. I said I had two. So now you have time to think of another one.
Okay, go ahead.
But one of them, I want you to find them all. You can choose a different one that I won't talk about if you want to do that. But one of them is the Flip Side podcast phone booth. And I want you to find it. First, I want you to find and take a picture with it, a selfie, tag me, tag Hope, tag Wade, tag Gator, Teach On. It looks so cute. But it's a old school phone booth. And if you go in the phone booth, now not a lot of people will know this. They'll probably walk past it and be like, oh, that's cute. Yeah. But if you're listening to this podcast,
everything has meaning,
guys.
guys.
Info. If you go into the phone booth, you can actually pick up the phone, record a message that we will use on future episodes of this podcast. So
you can record a message and, ask us a question.
Yeah.
You can talk about something you would like for us to discuss on the podcast.
It can be anything, and we'll kind of use those clips as needed, but you can literally record anything on there.
Tell us you love us or hate us, but we're not going to use that clip, obviously.
Right, exactly. Say anything, but I want you to find that phone booth, take your picture, tag us, and then also record that message so we can use it on future episodes of the Flipside podcast. I'm so excited about it. Half of the messages will probably be from me just walking past, like, hey guys, it's me again. I don't know. But find that phone booth.
If you leave a recording on that, I die.
Just because I want to try it.
I won't actually because
I'm Wade.
I barely have time to pee at nationals. Nevertheless, record a message at the phone booth. But if the opportunity presents itself, I will. All right, who's next? Who has their must-have to stop by?
Well, fine. I'll do 2 too.
Okay, there. She's taking 2 too. So you better do 2 like a ballerina.
I got 2, but I hope she doesn't take one
She will.
of mine.
Go ahead.
I always
takes all
love
my ideas
a
anyway.
good crafting moment.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we have a trucker hat station this
Yes, we
year,
do.
which
Okay,
has
good.
patches and
Didn't have that one.
beads and emeralds,
Chains.
rhinestones. That's what I'm
Yeah.
going. Rhinestones and all of it for you to fully decorate and customize like your layer. These layer trucker caps are like all the rage right
Yeah,
now.
let's go.
But you get to go design your own. And I just think there's something fun and memorable for me when I'm like, oh, I did this myself, number one, but I did it. I get your like. There's just so many good memories that go into that. So buy your trucker hat at the Collective, and then you'll get to add all of your patches and design it exactly how you want it to look. So that's number 1 for me,
Yeah.
must do. And then number 2 must do is to go up to a Magic Squad member and thank them intentionally,
Love
not
it.
just thanks guys, all right, great, but to actually
Didn't take one of mine.
invest time into them the way that they have invested time into you. So because I
Awesome.
think it's words of affirmation are huge for
Yep.
people. I don't think we do it enough. And I think the more we pour into others, the more we impact education. So pour into everybody that you possibly can.
I love it. All right, wait.
Or make the friendship bracelets. Do that too.
Yeah, I've got 3.
Oh,
my
God.
gosh.
Got 3.
Okay,
We got to
here
wrap
we
this
go.
show up.
Nah, these will be quick. So
Their flight's about to land. Departure. Please put up your tray
the first
tables at
one's
this time.
the first one's kind of silly. So the water park, if you have kids,
Oh.
go to the water park. It's awesome. Maverick and I checked that out.
I've seen a lot of people that are like, kids, heck no, this is teacher's vacation out for this
for
conference.
real.
Yeah.
I've
But
seen
it
a lot of people say
is,
that.
It is a really nice.
Yeah, if your family
spot.
is coming, make sure
Yeah.
you check it out.
Second thing is we have a station to where, so let's say that you see something that you want to bring to your school. It could be
Oh, yeah.
any type of professional development. And we're calling it the what?
Yeah, in the Impact Hub.
GYTO Your Way. It's in the Impact Hub with the library. So there's also the library that's there
It's
beside
actually like
the
a little
Collective.
like Market Street.
So here's how it
Everything
is.
there.
It's lined up.
Give
you
them
have
the layout,
You
yeah.
have the Collective. Then you have the GYTO library, which has so many great kids books from our presenters that you can purchase. Then from there, we have the engagement lab. So if you haven't heard of our engagement lab, I think that's one thing you should definitely check out.
Yep.
It is a super cool experience that you can bring back to your school. And then we have GYTO Your Way.
Yeah, GYTO Your Way. And so obviously we were talking earlier about how many schools we've been in and just all the different ways we've served teachers. So if you see something, even it can be from the keynotes, from the presentations, from coaching to modeling to all the things, you go in there and you just kind of take and pick and see what needs your school might benefit from. And
Yeah, ask for
hopefully-
Lainey.
Yeah.
Lainey will be
Lainey's
there. She'll
working
be
there.
happy to help you there.
You can
you
literally
out.
bring the Get Your Teach On experience to everyone
Correct.
Yeah.
in your
Yep.
district
Yeah.
or your school.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
we
Real
tend to
life.
serve a lot of districts because obviously, that's when you have
Districts and
everybody there
schools.
hearing
Yeah,
the same
and
message.
someone did ask about that, not in this Q&A, but the last one of what does it look like if Get Your Teach On comes? It literally is a scaled down size of the
We
conference.
call it the
So
mini. We call
it's
it Mini
called
Get Your Teach On.
for a reason. It is
Yeah.
literally the experience you have with the music, the backdrops, the hands-on activity. That is all.
Mhm.
That is what it is.
We
when
don't
it
just
comes
show up
to
with
it.
a backpack.
Correct.
We
It
show
is
up
not.
with
It is not your traditional
boxes
school
of
PD.
materials.
We
Yeah.
developed that during COVID when we were still wanting to serve teachers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
And it's
just
fully
kinda
customizable to
grown.
your school, your district, your needs. So if you're like, oh my gosh, my whole school would benefit from this, jot down the name of that session, and then we can kind of work.
The
through
last
that.
thing is just kind of same thing Hope said, but I was going to go to the hotel staff. So if you see
Yes.
hotel staff, we want people outside of education to know how awesome educators are. And so the only way to do that is to show them.
Yeah.
So thank them, love on them,
Be
something for
patient
them,
during
be
check-in
patient for
because
check-in.
literally the entire Gaylord is teachers checking in at the
Yes.
same time for
Yeah.
your teach on.
We've
So
sold the
be
Gaylord
patient
out.
with the hotel staff. Send one of your friends in line. Switch
kind.
out.
I mean,
you guys can go
Okay.
to.
Also, I think
up
this
your
is
mess.
really, to end that out, I think this is also really important. This is a conference of 6,500 teachers.
Yeah.
It's like going to a concert, right?
Right.
You have a lot of people in one place. So know that there are going to be times that you do have to be patient, and everybody's going to get a seat, and you're going to get a seat. But let's respect one another,
Yeah.
and let's uphold the respect that we have for this profession. This in the same light that we do when we interact with one another. Lunch lines, although we think we have it this year.
We got it.
We
it'll
think
be
we have
great.
it this
It'll
year,
be
you
great.
guys. Last year we made a lot of y'all mad because we're always learning.
We wanted to add as much
Every
content as
conference
possible,
we
so we
learned,
shortened the
yes.
lunch, but we
Because we
went
know
back.
that whether we give y'all 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour, you're going to show up late.
Correct.
I would too. So I'm in the boat with
we
you.
are
But
teachers running a conference. We are not.
we think that we have lunch
conference
figured
people.
out, but if something happens, just be as patient. Just know
Yeah.
our team will not just sit and
Correct.
watch a problem happen. Last year, we struggled with sound in some of the bigger breakouts. At lunch, we had a team there putting up drapery and flooring to make sure that you could. So know that our team, I promise you, is actively solving things behind the scenes.
And if
100% of the time.
if you don't tell us, we don't know.
Yeah.
If you don't tell us, we don't know. Please find.
Or maybe
someone
we
to
do
tell
know,
them.
and we've already been told 1,000
Right.
times.
Yeah.
So,
Well, tell
but
us.
yeah,
Probably that one.
Tell us.
but also we are there to give you the best experience
Yes, we are.
possible. Our team is going to literally sacrifice everything that week, put everything on the line to do everything within our power to give you the most amazing 4-day experience
Yeah, we
at Get Your
basically
Teach On.
black out.
Yeah. Also, make friendship bracelets. I'm challenging everybody to make friendship. I think that's
We
so
love
fun.
that. It's probably they're
Peace
probably
with
on
me.
their way there right now. So maybe
Yeah.
you can DoorDash some beads. I don't know.
I
There
mean,
you
you
go.
can find beads anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
All right, we're about to wrap up, but now those are must do's. We kind of tied into this, but last advice for this experience as you're going into this mindset. Last kind of tidbits that as you're getting ready for the weekend, advice you have for these teachers, whether they've been before, whether they're not, that you want them to kind of walk away with.
Yeah. Be open-minded and receptive. I think we have to choose to be receptive because you can either sit there and listen or you can be receptive, to which to me receptive is so different because then it's really reflecting on what do I need to take from this experience for me as a human? What do I need to take for me as a teacher? Come anticipating change.
Yep.
Right? So what do you want to change? What do you want to get better at? What do you want to give more time to? What do you come anticipating change and then stop at nothing to make that change?
Yeah, we expect it of our students all the time to kind of have that growth mindset and be flexible.
Yeah.
As adults, that's often hard
You're already
for us
incredible.
to do. So.
You're already incredible coming to this conference. And personal growth is a continuous journey. It's a daily choice. We're never going to hit our full potential. That there's no such thing that exists for that. So this isn't a comparison game. This isn't a trap of, oh my gosh, this is just me trying to be a little bit better. That's what PD, professional development growth, is all about, but also personal development.
Yeah, I would just say, buy in. And I think about myself going to a conference like this. If I were going to this conference and I really wanted to get everything I could from it, I would be there, and I would, if, for example, if Justin Willman's up there and he's trying to be funny, I'm gonna be intentional about laughing so I can feel that energy and
You enjoy it so much more. And
what
everybody
you
around
put in
you.
is what you'll get out.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
What you put in is what you get out. So if you sit there with your posture and you're like, I'm not gonna, it's you loosen up. It'll be
and no
okay.
one's looking
Yeah.
at. I mean, I'm a very introverted person. No one's ever looking at you. Don't worry about yourself.
Live
Go
your
there,
best life.
live your best life. Be you, obviously.
Live out loud, dance
but-
in the rain,
We're here for you.
dance like no one's watching.
That's right.
All the quotes on backdrops coming to you right.
Live, laugh,
Just
love.
kidding. Yeah, exactly. All right, I love those. My last tip would be, I know I like that Wade said his experience if he was coming to a conference. I have been to many conferences, and as extroverted as I am in my professional life, if I don't know you, I will literally sit in the back
Yes,
corner of the
that is
room
you.
and not
Yeah,
speak to a
correct.
human.
Yeah.
That is just my person. I get uncomfortable. I feel socially awkward. So be intentional about talking to one person. I know so many stories that they're like, I came by myself and this is my best friend. Someone at the live last week, she was like, I'm a brand new teacher. I don't know anyone. They left best friends, like texting each other. We're going to get lunch every day and all these things. It will make your experience 10 times better to walk away with someone from a completely different state, completely different perspective, whether it's someone at your table or in the keynote.
Or if you're
Even
in
if
line,
you're coming with
even
a
if
lot
you're
of people in
waiting.
line, if you're
Where
coming
you
with
from?
your
Hey.
whole school, my challenge still goes for you. Even if you know 100 people at the conference and your whole district is coming, which I know many districts are sending a lot of teachers, find someone outside of your kind of circle to collaborate with, because that's really what Get Your Teach On, why I think it's been so successful and the growth that we've had is we're continually challenging each other, listening to other perspectives, getting insights from other people outside of ways that only is going to increase you as an educator and kind of take you to the next level. So my challenge is, don't be afraid to start conversation. It is awkward. Adults talking to adults is always awkward if you don't know each other. But just make the best
Know
of
that
it.
our team is so excited to see you. Every single Magic Squad, every single person on our team, the hotel staff, like we have been anticipating this for a year. And
even longer, because this conference is at the end
that's
of
true.
July.
And we're so excited to celebrate you, to love on you, to appreciate you, to validate you. I want you to be validated when you leave Get Your Teach On above all else. To know that you're doing the right thing and you are in the right place and you were built for this moment. And so we're about to have some breakthroughs, and I'm excited about what 2024 Nationals is
Let's go. The countdown to GYTO Fest 2024 is officially on. We cannot wait to see you all soon. If you want to tap into more episodes of the podcast, it's a brand new Get Your Teach On podcast. Launches every Monday, a brand new episode. You can tune in and watch on YouTube
Coming
or listen.
up Monday, we have the
Josie Bensko will be
talking
joining
all
us.
things Teachergram and social media.
Yeah, it is really powerful episode. I think this is the one I cried in. Is this the one I cried in?
I think you did.
I think it is.
Crying all the time.
I think it is, yeah. But tap in every Monday. You can watch live on YouTube. So if you're listening to this right now on Spotify or your podcast platform, you can watch us in studio for every episode on YouTube as well. Make sure to share it out. It's brand new. If you missed the first episode, you can also check that out because it is live as well now. But we will see you all in Orlando.
Let's go!
But until then, we will catch you next time on the
Flip side.
Bye, guys.
See you in Orlando.